I am 6 weeks post microdiscectomy today. Okay, actually yesterday. Um, so the reason I'm doing this video is because there were two things I didn't know about other people's videos, and so I wanted to do something that was uniquely mine. First of all, everyone seemed young in comparison to myself. Um, I actually learned that most people that have microdiscectomies are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and I'm the anomaly. My age starts with the number 6. So I want to know, how does this go for somebody more like my age? Would it be harder to recover? And the other thing I didn't understand, um, I won't say that the doctor said this would be nothing burger surgery, but he led me to believe that I probably could do this on my own, um, if somebody occasionally looked in on me. And yet, listening to other people's experiences, um, it just seemed like it was a big deal. When I asked how long I should be off of work, I pinned the doctor down. He said, well, 2 weeks for a desk job. And yet, it seemed like the average time that people are away from their desk jobs was a lot longer, maybe typically 6 weeks. So I was wondering how this would all work out. So 6 weeks seems to be the magic number, the point of substantial recovery. So I told myself that once I passed that monumental 6 weeks threshold, that I'd post one video about my whole experiences from the day of surgery to 6 weeks. And that's what I'm trying to do today. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about my pre-surgery experience. Sciatica sucks. It really sucks. At one point, I thought, chop my leg off. It's got to feel better than this. Um, so when you have sciatica, you kind of go through phases, and you start out either seeing a physical therapist or a chiropractor. And then after that, if that doesn't work, you go to steroid injections. And after that, then finally, you go to microdiscectomy surgery. My pain was so severe that my doctor just allowed me to skip the steroid injections and go straight to surgery. And I had come to the conclusion that week that that was pretty much my only hope, lasting hope. And so I jumped on it. So I'm close with my sister Terry, and she's been in this whole loop about the situation. I guess I should mention that I live alone. And so when I told her about my upcoming surgery, she was ready to pack her bags. And I hesitated. I mean, according to the doctor, I could manage on my own. I had a friend, a coworker, Beth, and she was willing to take me home. Um, my wonderful next door neighbor, Sag, is a retired nurse, and she's helped me out before. So maybe I could manage without Terry's help. But then in hearing stories from other people, I decided, okay, maybe I'll get Terry to help me. So the question is, how did it all turn out and what lessons were learned? So I'm going to get into that. But first of all, I want to give you some hope because it went really, really well. The day of surgery post-op was not fun. I suspected I was given too much anesthesia. Instead of an hour in recovery, it was more like 3 hours, and I was nauseous. And when I woke up, the sciatica was still there, which I understand happens sometimes. And the doctor said, okay, it could take an extra day or two. Although I've heard other people say that, months later, it's still there. a little disappointing because I was hoping it would magically go away. So I came home, I threw up, I felt better, I slept. Um, Again, the retired nurse said she came and saw me during the first week, and she had great advice. And my sister was my primary nursemaid. She was a light sleeper, and she said it wouldn't be a big deal if I woke her up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I did, and it was really nice to have her there. I think the low point was the day after surgery. I still had the sciatica, and I was also dealing with the pain from the incision. Um, there was no way I could have managed on my own. So having Terry there was the right decision. I couldn't get out of bed on my own. And at one point, it was the low point. I had to have my sister help me off the potty. Um, but Terry was good company and she fed me well. Um, and once I got up and standing, I was doing fairly well. I remember on day 2, I was strutting around the house. Um, but it just seemed like the hard part was the transition, getting out of bed, going from sitting to standing, from sitting to lying down. On the second day, I woke up to the strange sensation. For the first time in months, the sciatic pain had cleared. I mean, cue the hallelujah chorus. I was ecstatic. It was an awesome day. I mean, I still felt the pain from the surgery, but it was nothing compared to the nerve pain. That that day, Terry and I went grocery shopping. It was awesome. And it was also good to have the grocery cart as support when I was walking around. 2 days later, Terry and I went to IKEA and we walked the whole store. I mean, both levels. Anyone who's been to IKEA knows that that's a lot of walking. And I, again, was strutting around like a proud peacock. I got this. And the following day, we went to a large outlet mall. And then that was another long walk. And so it continued. I started to drive around day 5. Terry was leaving at day 7. I wanted to make sure I could drive to the airport. And the cars have really good lumbar support, so it went well. Um, I did realize that I got a little tired from driving for some reason, but I managed. Um, so at day 7, womp womp, I sent Terry off and I had another week off from work. I think, it was kind of nice and exciting to have Terry around for a visit. And I was kind of on an adrenaline high. And once she left, I kind of was like, okay, now I'm going to rest. Um, on day 14, I returned to work. And after walking like a little old lady for months, it felt amazing to walk normal-ish. I had no problem sitting for long periods of time. The first day, I remember I sat down for 3 hours and didn't get up. So, it seems like prior to the surgery, you're listening to your pain. Like, um, I would be trying to focus on something and you're thinking, ow, ow, ow. And then once the pain is lifted, you can focus on your tasks again, which was kind of cool. People at work have been very supportive and understanding. Um, but yeah, they loaded me up with work too when I got back. So thank you for that. But at least I could think. So normally you see your surgeon after 2 weeks. For me, it was 3.5. He was out of town. He cleared me for PT and he wanted me to work on back strength. So I returned to Paul, my physical therapist, who I adore, and I'm happy to be in his care again. And it's funny, physical therapists, they watch your gait. And he immediately noticed that I was improved once I walked in the door. I'm still a little too bouncy for his liking, um, but we're working on a few things. I had some dull back pain and occasionally some sharp back pain. DePaul said that the pain from the incision was the dull pain that would go away, and the sharp pain I was feeling, um, back exercises could improve that. So around week 5, it happened. I just woke up and noticed that the dull back pain was pretty much gone. I couldn't see my incision. Paul looked and he said it was looking good, so success. Once the dull pain went away, I have to admit, I started to get a little cocky. I started to take more chances. So the conventional wisdom is until week 6, don't lift anything more than a gallon of milk, which is 8 pounds. And so there was this bird, we thought, in the dryer vent. I thought in the dryer vent, and I wanted to check it out. Um, and that involved getting a ladder out. And okay, so the ladder probably weighed more than 8 pounds. Um, and I think it was not so much the weight, but the twisting, because I had to kind of like position myself in a certain way to see the dryer vent. After that, the dull pain returned, and the sharp pain, which was about once a day, was now 3 times a day. So I, w- I went to confession with Paul, my physical therapist, and he set new restrictions on me. Um, and the exercises he set out for me, they are working. So here I am, 6 weeks and 1 day. Overall, the progression has really exceeded my expectations. I really can't complain too much about minor or occasional pains, considering that 6 weeks earlier I was struggling to walk. So before I finish up, I just want to talk about some of the things that I bought to prepare for recovery and if they worked or not. I purchased a raised toilet seat for about $45. Um, was it helpful? Yes. And to explain that, um, getting up from a seated position is hard, and the shorter the distance that you have to get up from, the better. And I think it added like 5 inches, but I only needed it for about a week and a half. So I'm not sure it was worth the investment. I got a grabber, uh, about $12, low cost items. I think worth it, yeah. Um, I dropped lots of things, or sometimes I had to get something like on the floor or in the refrigerator, and it was a good, safe way of doing that. So yes, I, believe it or not, got a butt wiping wand. Yes, they make those. There's something like with an extra arm that helps you get back there. Did not work for me. I couldn't get the right angle, so womp womp, no. I got a back brace, somewhat helpful. For a while there, I was having sharp pains when walking, and then when I wore the brace, I wasn't getting the pains. Paul, the physical therapist, said don't rely on the back brace, that I needed to strengthen the back. So lesson learned, avoiding that. Um, I also got this, I heard I was going to be in bed for a long time, and they have this thing where you can, like a little pillow that has an arm on it, and it grabs your cell phone so you don't have to hold it. I have to admit, I love this little gadget, and I use it all the time now. But I was in bed very much after surgery, like I expected, so no, not needed, but very cool. So, in summary, I just want to say that my experiences were much better than what I heard from other people, other YouTube videos. I just want to let you know things can go really well. And even for an old fart like this one, no regrets.